Hi and welcome to the first of 3 tutorial videos on assembling your own grow tent from a basic kit. These are brought to you by Chesterfield Hydroponics Centre, one of the UK's leading hydroponics shops based in Chesterfield in Derbyshire. So first of all we'll start off with the basic kit contents, what it includes and what you'll need. With any kit you start off with a simple set out. You've got the actual canvas for the tent. As you can see, this is laid out here on the floor. Now, what we're using now is a simple 1 meter by 1 meter by 2 meter high tent, just to give you an insight in what you need. You've also got the drip tray and all the assembling poles as well. Now, there are 2 different types of poles. There's the longer poles that you can see in front of you. They're for actually the roof plane and the floor plane. And then there's the upright poles, which are the slightly shorter ones. Please note that 4 of these have got tapered ends so that they slot inside the non-tapered poles to give you the full 2 meter upright. You've also got the intersections there, which you can see they make the corners of the base and the roof system. And then finally you've got the ends for the hanging rails. These simply hook up over the roof rails just to give you the hanging rails for the lights, your carbon filter and everything. And along with the instructions that you should get with the kit, that makes up your basis for the full hydroponic tent kit. So we'll start off with building your tent now in this video. So the easiest way to do it is firstly lay everything out on the floor in front of you. There are no real specialist tools required. We've got John here, he's just using a pair of cutters and a screwdriver. These will come into place a little bit later on in the second and third video. So the first things first, drop your base frame together. Now all these are simple push fit connectors. Nothing technical about them at all. Literally push them in firmly, everything clicks in, snaps shut and goes together very, very simply. So all he's doing is making a square frame which will then sit in the base of the tent. As you can see, John's making sure everything's secure, and once he's got the base frame put together, gives it one final firm shove on both directions to make sure that everything's intact. This then sits directly into the bottom of the tent. As you can see, just lift the edges up there, fold them over, pop your frame in and just make sure that everything sits nice and snugly. The actual size of the tent there will actually to keep the frame together. Then come the uprights. As you can see, what John's putting in there are the tapered ends first. Now he's putting the tapered end to the top of the pole. This will then allow the next pole to sit directly on top of that with no need for any other type of mechanical joint. So again, drop them into the snap fit connectors, give them a good firm push and everything should fit nice and snugly. So then we get the second of the upright poles. These then just slot directly over the base ones and that gives you the full height, 2 meters for the tent. So building these tents is a very simple process. It's going to take a little over 11 minutes to show you the whole thing, to put it all together. And then the next 2 videos are about how to fit it out. So the final stage of actually putting the external frame together is just the roof section. Again, 4 corners, 4 poles, all snap fit together. Make sure it's all firm, a good firm solid push for each one. And then comes the tricky part, which is reaching up and getting it on the roof. So that's it, all 4 sides of the roof are together. One final push, make sure it's all tight, and then lift it up and slot it on top of your 4 upright poles. Now you'll note the easiest way to do this is to put in opposing corners first. So John's putting one corner in, then he's going into the opposite corner section, and between the 2 it should help balance the roof out so you don't have to try and hold 3 different things with 2 hands. So once it's on, give it a good firm tug down off the base, and that's your basic frame put together. Now the easiest way to get the sides and the roof together now is actually to lay the frame on its back. That way you've not got to reach up 2 meters in height. Walk around to the top of the tent, lift the roof up and simply fold it over the frame that you've just put together. So that's the base and the roof canvas put on. The next thing is just pulling the sides up, and that's a simple process. Pull them out, lift them up, drop them over the side of the frame. Make sure there's no creases or anything in it, otherwise it might impede the build. So level it all out, and then the whole thing just zips together. So that's the first side done. So exactly the same on the other side. Pull it out, lift the side up, drop it over the frame, and then zip it all together. There we go. Make sure all the sides are neat and tight, and then that is the basic external shell of your grow tent. On this particular model we're using, the sides will fold back and they'll hook or attach to hold them open, which just it makes access a little bit easier for getting your trays and your lights and your pots and various bits and pieces in there. There are various designs of these things. This is just one of these simple, easy to use kits that we stock and supply. So that's your shell done. Very, very straightforward, very, very simple. The next thing we're going to show you is how to fit your hanging rails in there and the drip trays. Now with the hanging rails, there are 4 rails that sit in the roof space or in the roof of the tent. Now these hang at 2 different levels so that you can put them on the X and Y plane of the roof. As you can see, very, very simple connection again. The ends just push on to the poles, and then these will simply slot directly onto the side rails of your roof. So then we've got the drip tray. So unfold the drip tray, get it all ready, and that just sits directly in the bottom of your grow tent. That, as the name suggests, stops any water from seeping out the grow tent onto your carpet or your floorboards or wherever you've got your indoor tent. The one that we're using has got simple Velcro straps. These just hook around the upright poles on your framework, and it just stops the whole thing from slipping around as you're popping things in and out and standing in and out of it. So simply Velcro these down, slide them into base, and that will be your drip tray intact. As you can see, the inside of the tent is silver lined. That helps to reflect all the light in around the tent to give the maximum absorption for the plants that you're growing in there. So that's your drip tray down, in, just push it into all the corners, make sure it's nice and flush, make sure there's nothing underneath it. The last thing you want to do is get in there, stand on it, and then put a hole in the bottom of your drip tray. So again, John's now putting the shorter of the brackets in there first. These are the highest hanging rails. The other 2 that will slot in will go just underneath these. So he's putting 2 at roughly equal distances from the front to the back of the tent. These are in, clipped on, and that's those done. So the next pair is putting in now are the lower hanging ones. So if you'll notice, the brackets have got a slightly deeper hook on them. Now, because of the system that we're using in this one, we're going to have an inline fan which is then going to sit directly on top of the actual roof of the tent. So John's then putting the two cross member rails either side of the inlet hole for the pipework for your ventilation, for your extraction system. And then that way the fan will just sit directly on top of that, be self-supporting, no need for any other mechanical means. And there we go, there you have it. As you can see, there's your lower hanging roof rails, the entrance for your extract fan, your cross members for your lights, everything's pushed in, everything's tightly done together. And there's your first grow tent built and ready for action. In the second of the 3 videos, we're then going to show you how to install your extract and your carbon filter and your ducting. And then in the final video of the 3, how to install your lighting on that. We hope this has been an informative one. If you've got any questions, please do give us a call, 01246 260874. Visit chesterfieldhydroponics.co.uk or drop into our shop in Chesterfield. Many thanks from all the team at Chesterfield Hydroponics.